And welcome back. And welcome to my temporary office, by the way. I want to give you guys an update regarding the latest trends we're seeing right now in the US, of course, for home prices, home sales, pending home sales, housing inventory, and of course, price reductions and much, much more. This is because Redfin just announced their latest housing market update today, which is the 8th of December here. So with that said, I have a lot to share in today's video. I'm going to go over some early indications of home buying demand, some early indications about what's expected in our housing market in the next 1 to 2 months, as well as some lagging indicators as well. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So according to Redfin, this was just posted on the 8th of December here. It says the total number of houses for sale increased 15% year over year during the 4 weeks ended December 4th of this year. The biggest uptick on record. Redfin's data goes back, I believe, to 2015. So the biggest increase of housing inventory since at least 2015. But new listings declined by more than 20% on a year-over-year basis, which of course means that houses are taking longer to sell, which is increasing housing inventory. And of course, one of the main reasons why houses are taking longer to sell is due to a decrease in home buying demand due to an increase of mortgage rates. And in fact, days on the market increased to 37 days. That's actually up from the all-time record low of 17 days that we saw in June of this year. And also 37 days is also increased from 28 days from 1 year ago, the biggest year-over-year increase or slowdown on record. And regarding home prices, have a look at this because they're reporting that 11 cities in the US are reporting decreases in home prices on a year-over-year basis here. It says home sold prices fell from 1 year ago in 11 of the 50 most populous US metros. Last week, it was actually 10 cities, and the week before that, it was 6 cities. So we've gone from 6 cities now to 11 cities where they're reporting a decrease in home sold prices from 1 year ago. Most of them are in California, 6 of them. So prices fell by 7.8% on a year-over-year basis in San Fran, down by 3.6% in San Jose, down by 2.2% in Los Angeles, 1.4% in Detroit, 1.2% in Sacramento, and 1.1% in Pittsburgh. Home prices also declined by less than 1% on a year-over-year basis in Oakland, California, Anaheim, California, Austin, Texas, Philadelphia, as well as Phoenix, Arizona. And speaking of Phoenix, Arizona, have a look at this. Although the decline was small, this marks the first time Phoenix home sold prices have fallen on a year-over-year basis since at least 2015. So going back to 2015, they reported increases in home prices on a year-over-year basis every single month. But this marks the first time that we saw decreases in home prices on a year-over-year basis since at least 2015 in Phoenix, Arizona. It's also the first time that home prices in Anaheim, California declined on a year-over-year basis since October of 2019. All right, so before I talk about more about home prices, pending home sales, housing inventory, and price reductions, let's talk a little bit about some leading indicators of home buying demand. What could be impacting our housing market in the next 1 to 2 months, for example. So regarding mortgage rates, have a look at this. Here's the average rates as of today, which is the 8th of December here, according to the Mortgage News Daily, for people with exceptional credit, of course. So the average 30-year fix in the US right now is 6.32%. The year-to-date high, or actually the 12-month low, was 3.16%, and the 12-month high was actually 7.37%. That was set approximately 1 month ago. So here's a look at rates over the past 12 months. Again, right now, 7.32% for an average 30-year fix. 1 year ago, it was 3.25%. So rates have increased approximately 307 basis points, or 3.07 percentage points in the last 12 months. So it's important to note here that even though mortgage rates have decreased approximately 1 percentage point over the last month, which is a very big decrease in a very short period of time, despite that though, mortgage rates are still up by about 3 percentage points on a year-over-year basis. And also speaking of some early indications of home buying demand, have a look at this. Because here's the latest report that was actually announced yesterday, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association, or the MBA here. Applications decreased 1.9% from 1 week ago, but that actually includes refis plus purchase applications as well. And this a week here includes an adjustment due to the Thanksgiving holiday here, by the way. The refi index, which of course is an index which measures the total number of people submitting applications in order to refi, actually increased 5% from the previous week, but was down a whopping 86% from the same time period 1 year ago. Meanwhile, the seasonally adjusted purchase index, which includes an adjustment due to Thanksgiving here, decreased 3% from 1 week ago, but the unadjusted purchase index increased 31% compared to the previous week and was a whopping 40% lower than the same week 1 year ago. And again here, so you guys aren't confused regarding this, this increase by 31% compared to the previous week is unadjusted. In other words, they did not include an adjustment due to the Thanksgiving holiday. Obviously, we didn't have a lot of people submitting applications during the holiday season or during the Thanksgiving holiday week, and therefore we had an increase the following week. The MBA also noted that approximately 28.7% of all applications received last week were from people looking to refi their mortgages. Of course, the remaining of that are coming from purchases. Also, the ARM share of activity decreased to 7.6% of total applications as well. I believe about a month or two ago, this rate here, or this share, was about 12%. Also on January 1st, that share was around 3%. So even though the share is still very low, it's still very much higher compared to January 1st of this year. And going back to Redfin's report right here, the Redfin Home Buyer Demand Index, which of course is a measure of requests for home tours and other home buying services by Redfin agents, actually increased 5% from 1 week ago. No big surprises there because last week was due to the holiday. We saw a big decrease of home tours here. It was also down a whopping 29% from 1 year ago. And of course, we're seeing fewer people searching for homes for sale on Google, down 34% from a year ago. And of course, touring activity, which is real estate agents showing houses to their home buyers, as of December 4th, was down 37% to start the year. If you actually look at the most recent data though, which is as of December 7th and not December 4th, it's actually worse than that though. Look at this. The touring activity is down 38.3% compared to January 1st of this year, or compared to the first week of this year. Compare that to 2021, we were only down 11.4% compared to the first week of 2021. And in 2020, it was more or less flat compared to the start of the year 2020. So in other words, we're seeing a huge decrease of home tours across North America. We're also seeing fewer people submitting applications for mortgages. And of course, Redfin's also seeing fewer requests for home buyer services by their agents as well. All right, let's change gears slightly and talk about some key housing market takeaways as of the 4-week ended December 4th. Can't talk today. This data covers the 4-week period ending December 4th. So home sold prices, the median sold price is $355,000, up slightly from 1 week ago, but only up by 1.9% on a year-over-year basis, the slowest price growth since June 2020, of course, with the exception of the prior 4-week period here. So home prices on a year-over-year basis are only up by 1.9%, which is pretty close to getting into negative territory overall for the nation here. Meanwhile, asking prices of newly listed houses only increased 4.4% year over year, the slowest growth rate since May of 2020. Meanwhile, the average monthly mortgage payment for the average price home here was $2,297 at the current 6.33% rate. That's actually down more than $200 from 1 month ago when mortgage rates average around 7%. But even though rates have decreased from about 7% to about 6.33% over the past month or so, average monthly housing payments are still up by about 38% on a year-over-year basis. And here's a chart showing the median sold price in the US right now, only up by 2% on a year-over-year basis. The median sold price only $356,000. 1 year ago at this time, the median sold price was $349,000. So getting very, very close to about $7,000 difference compared to 2021. And also you may have noticed this because 1 year ago, home prices were up by 14% on a year-over-year basis. Now they're only up by 2%. And according to Redfin, pending home sales were down by 34.9% year over year, the largest declines since at least January 2015, as far back as Redfin's data goes. So pending home sales were down by 34.9%, according to this article, though. If you go to their data center, though, look at this. 34.9%, look at this. Same time period, down by 37.85%. So I don't know if it's down by 37.85% or down by 34.9%. Yet another sign that Redfin's getting very sloppy with their housing market updates here. This 34.9%, which is for the 4 weeks ended December 4th, does not agree to their other website here, down by 37.85%. And that is ridiculous. Anyways, among the 50 most populous US metros, pending home sales fell the most from 1 year ago in Las Vegas, down by 65.4% in the number of pending home sales compared to the same time period 1 year ago, which is absolutely insane here. Austin, Texas, look at this, down by 60.7%. Phoenix, Arizona, down by 56.8%. Jacksonville, Florida, down by 55.6%. And Portland, Oregon, down by 53.5% on a year-over-year basis for pending home sales. And by the way, regarding the housing markets in Las Vegas, Austin, Texas, as well as Phoenix, Arizona, check out my channel because I actually made separate videos regarding each of these 3 markets here in separate videos. I posted those videos approximately 1 to 2 weeks ago. So if you guys are interested in learning the latest housing market trends in those cities, then take a look at those videos I posted just a little bit ago. Let's also talk about new listings because those are down by 21.6%, the largest decline since May of 2020. And meanwhile, active listings, which of course is housing inventory, was up by 15% on a year-over-year basis, the biggest annual increase since at least 2015. And speaking of new listings, have a look at this chart right here. Here's new listings compared to 2019 through 2021. So new listings are down by 21.6% on a year-over-year basis, which it does agree to this article right here, down by 21.6%. Anyways, down by 21.6% on a year-over-year basis, below 2019 though, as well as 2021, and of course 2020, which is there in red as well. So new listings are down by 21.6% on a year-over-year basis, and also moving the similar direction as the past few years here, but still well below the past few years here. And meanwhile, active listings, which of course is housing inventory, is up by 14.97% compared to 2021. There's approximately 823,000 houses for sale according to Redfin right now. 1 year ago, there was approximately 716,000. So the number of houses available for sale right now is above 2021, but slightly below 2020 and well below 2019, where at this time there was approximately 1.1 million houses for sale. Now again, there's approximately 823,000. Additionally, the month supply right now, which of course is a measure of the balance between supply and demand, was at 3.9 months. The month supply is at 3.9 months. That was flat from 1 week ago, but up sharply from 3.4 months from 2 weeks ago. So the month supply is 3.9 months right now. Let's have a look at the chart. As you can see right here in red, here's 2022, a sharp increase of the month supply really ever since June of this year. A sharp increase well above 2021's levels and now well above 2020 as well. 3.9 months. Back in 2020, we had about 2.5 months. And back in 2021, the month supply was just over 2 months. Redfin also reported that approximately 30% of all pending home sales went under contract. In other words, the home seller accepted an offer from a home buyer, went under contract within 2 weeks of the house being listed for sale. Another way to look at this though, this means that approximately 70% sold longer than 2 weeks of the house being listed for sale. So 30% sold within 2 weeks, and then approximately 70% sold longer than that. And speaking of houses selling fast or slow here, days on the market, according to Redfin, was 36.5 days. This means it's taking approximately 8 days longer to sell a house compared to the same time period 1 year ago. It's taking 8 days longer to sell a house compared to 2021. And also days in the market is also higher compared to 2020 because back in 2020 this time, it was taking approximately 34 days. And also at 36 days right now, this is still below 2019 though, because back in 2019, it was taking approximately 50 days to sell a house. Redfin also noted that approximately 25% of houses that sold above the seller's final list price. Another way to look at this though, this means that approximately 75% sold at or below the seller's final asking price. On top of that, at 25% right now, this is below 2020 when the share was approximately 33%. And also back in 2021, it was actually over 40%. And also at 25.5% right now of houses selling over the seller's final list price. This is also well below the levels we saw back in April, all the way until more or less July, when this share was actually over 50%. And speaking of the housing market slowing down, the share of price reductions is nearly 43% according to altosresearch.com. 42.52% to be exact, which is a slight decrease over the past couple of weeks because 2 weeks ago, the share was a little bit over 43%. Now it's a little bit below 42%. But at 42.52% right now, this is much higher compared to last year when the share was only 27%. Also in 2020, it was at 26%. And pre-COVID back in 2019, it was only 33%. Additionally, Redfin noted that the average sale price to final list price ratio was 98.4%. That means on average, houses sold for 1.6% below the seller's final list price for this 4-week period ended December 4th. Now, this is much different compared to 1 year ago because 1 year ago, houses on average were selling for the seller's asking price on average. Now, again, they're selling for about 1.6% below. Also look at this because during the spring months this year, back in May and June of this year, when we reached all-time record highs for home prices, houses on average were selling for about 2.5% over the seller's final asking price. Now they're selling for below the asking price on average. And with that said, please comment below your biggest takeaways from today's video. Hope you guys have an awesome day. And thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate you very much. Have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.